Welcome everyone, my name is Estella. Normally I do play games on this channel, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about silksong. I've been making some silksong videos recently, and I wanted to talk about silksong's final boss today. If you've not gotten the true ending for silksong, I suggest you go ahead and click off the video because I will be talking about spoilers. But first, I wanted to show you guys my cute little Shimmer plushie that I got for Christmas. He's so cute, his little hat comes off. He's super cute. And then I also got a little figurine that lights up that I'm going to put in the background once I figure out how to get it set up and organize it a little bit more. Aside from that, let's talk about silksong's final boss. I have to say, when I initially fought Lost Lace and defeated her, I was disappointed. I was a little disappointed because Lost Lace is a boss that you fight, or Lace in general is a boss that you fight at least 2 other times in the game. If it wasn't a rehashed boss twice, maybe just once, if we just fought her once, it would have been fine. I think I would have felt a little bit better about it. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I would have done the boss myself. Obviously, I am not a game developer. I don't know about developing games. This is just my opinion as a player, and how I thought it could have been better, and both thematically, story-wise, and also gameplay-wise. So first off, Lace is a boss that you fight a total of 3 times in the game. The first fight, really good. Super good in Deep Talks. That's fantastic. Second fight, also fantastic. Her movesets change a little bit. She becomes a little bit harder. That's great. In the Lost Lace fight, which is the final boss fight, she is infected with Void. And she has additional attacks that she does almost, not automatically, but, what's the word? Some of her attacks are kind of in the background of her main attacks, which is like her main moveset that you get in the Lace 2 fight. My problem with this is, we know the boss so well already, even with the extra Void attacks, with her being like infected with the Void, still feels old. And I think a way that I would have changed this to make it better, to still, because thematically and story-wise, I think it is, or at least story-wise, I think having Lace be the final boss is appropriate. I think it's good. But in terms of like the actual gameplay and boss fight, I think not so great. I think what Team Sherry could have done to make it a little bit better, to make it more of a surprise to players, because it's surprising enough that you're fighting Lost Lace a little bit, but it would have been even more surprising if they gave her a completely different moveset. And what I mean is a different moveset as in she starts out with different attacks, completely different attacks than what you know Lace to be, because this would have shocked players and given him something to have to relearn as opposed to already knowing the boss pretty well. Aside from the Void attacks. And like also by this point, you're already pretty familiar with the Void attacks anyway, once you've gone through all of Act 3, and so it's not as surprising either, the Void attacks that she does. So looking back at the boss fight, I think at the start of the fight, at least the first phase, all of her moves should have been completely different. And I think lore-wise, this still could have been doable because I know that they've already established throughout the game that all of the enemies have the same moveset, but they have these additional Void attacks because they're infected by both the Silk and the Void is corrupting it. But we are in the Void. We are underneath it. We are in the thick of it. And so I think it still would have been plausible to give her a completely different moveset, and then gradually, as you go throughout the fight to phase 2 and phase 3, it would make sense to slowly reintroduce her original moveset. Because then that way, it is still something that the player has to completely learn. Like, it's still like a completely new boss that the player has to learn, even though it's the same character that we fought 2 other times. Another thing that I think they could have done if they didn't want to do that, to make it more of a challenge for players, I think what could have happened is the Void would copy Lace, and so you have 2 different Laces at the same time that you're having to fight gradually. So like maybe at the start you just have lace as she is, the first lace in the second phase, you have to fight 2 of them. And then you have to decide which one is which. And then you have to figure out which one is the correct lace to fight, because then you destroy one of them and it's not the correct one or something like that. Obviously, that would have made the fight significantly harder. I think this is the one instance in Silksong that my expectations were too high. Not because of the development time of Silksong, but more because of Hollow Knight. Because I had such high expectations for the final boss because of how Hollow Knight's final boss, especially for the true ending, how much of a challenge it was for me. I remember when I first played Hollow Knight and I first got the true ending, oh my god, it took me forever to fight. It took me forever to defeat Radiance. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a good thing, that the boss is too hard for some players to defeat. I'm just saying I think the expectations were a little bit higher for the final boss, at least for the true ending. In terms of difficulty, just because, you know, you've gone this far, you've gotten past what is essentially the hardest boss in the game, which is Carmelita. And then you get to Lost Lace, and I feel like it's just kind of disappointing. And so, yeah, I think these are just some of the ways that I would have changed that and made it a little bit better. In terms of gameplay, as well as enhancing the experience story-wise for players who are really, really into the story, which I am. I love the story, and I think, but story and gameplay go hand in hand, and I think this is just a way that it could have been so much better. And like, even going back through Hollow Knight on my channel, I still struggled with the Radiance when I finally got to her. She still gave me a lot of trouble, and I don't know, I think it's just, I have a lot of trouble with, like, 1, bullet hells, and 2, just, like, paying attention to anything other than the boss on screen. That's hard for me, which is funny because I suggested the worst thing for me as being, like, a good solution, which is to have 2 laces, which, as we have learned, I'm not very good at fighting 2 bosses at one time. So, yeah, I think those are a couple ways that I think Lace could have been a lot better at the end, and Team Cherry could have really pulled out all the stops for her as the final boss of the true ending. But, yeah, I'm excited to know, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Put down in the comments below what you expected from Lost Lace, what you think could have been better, and yeah, if you liked her. Maybe you guys liked her more than I did. Again, she was a little bit disappointing for me. So, but ultimately, Silksong is one of my favorite games of all time, so it's one of the few little nitpicks that I have about the game. But yeah, I'm super excited for Sea of Sorrow coming out. I hope that it comes out in February. That'd be really cool. That would be really awesome to get to play it so early after the game has come out. But otherwise, I also have my bets like kind of on March. I'm hoping to still do more with Silksong. I still have more plans for Silksong. I'm trying to get set up with live streaming, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can stream Steel Soul. But I don't normally post on Thursdays, so this is a little bit of a weird day for me, but I wanted to post a video on January 1st, since it is now the new year, and I think it was a perfect time to post just like a short little video for everybody. So I hope you guys like this. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Happy New Year. Bye!